Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Teleislas News with the most recent and important information of the day. Much attention to a press release. The IDEAM announced that during the next few days there will be an increase in winds and waves.
Good evening, Lisa, and all the viewers. Well, yes, the IDEAM take a press release that mentions say in the Caribbean Sea will be an increase in the wind and also in the wave them. This is what the director of IDEAM tells us in Teleislas News.
In the center of the Colombian Caribbean Sea, the IDEAM has issued a red alert for the increase of winds. As a result, we will have winds between 45 and 60 kilometers per hour, and we will have waves of up to 4 meters. This red alert is given throughout the center of the Caribbean Sea, and similarly, there is an orange alert in the Gulf of Urabá.
The director of the IDEAM also wants to tell everybody who is watching us that it is important to follow all the lessons from the authorities to avoid any accident that can happen in this increase of the winds and also of the waves. This is all the information we report from here. Continue, Lisa, in the studio.
And a crime was recorded inside a urban transport during the weekend. Let's see the following note.
During the past weekend, a public transport bus belonging to the COOBUSAN company was the victim of a crime when 3 men tried to rob one of the passengers. This is not the first time that an incident like this occurred inside one of these vehicles, which is why the manager of this company has decided to reinforce security.
Yesterday, one bus, when we was working at the route barrack, 3 young kids, young boys, get in the bus and then peer them, the bus fear as usual, as is normal with everybody else. And when they get along at the First Baptist Church, then try to steal one bag from a tourist. But thank the Lord, and they never get through, so it's just here like an intent, not like a stealing. We try to protect our customers and our passengers, which we want to put some security camp in all our buses. And for now on, we bus them and start trouble with the door them closed.
Another event was recorded with a COOBUSAN bus when a pole fell on top of it without leaving casualties.
Saturday in the evening, the bus was coming from Cove, going town. One post, one of the company them that sell communication service in the island. The post break and it dropped on top of the bus and it damaged the bus terrible. But you know, our liar and things speaking already to the company and trying to get this served the best way for both companies.
The manager of the public transport company announced that he has already taken legal actions against the attempt robbery suffered by one of the company passengers.
A French ship joined the humanitarian work being carried out in favor of the sister islands of Old Providence and Santa Catalina. On board, they brought more than 40 tons of aid from the city of Cartagena.
Dumont d'Urville is the name of a French ship that with its 25 crew members arrived to the island, bringing humanitarian aid that was loaded in the city of Cartagena, which was achieved thanks to the offer of the European country to support Colombia in the emergency that is being experienced in the island after Hurricanes Eta and Iota.
We are currently unloading some cargo that we loaded in Cartagena. It is cargo from Armada de Colombia, which will be used to rebuild Providencia Island. The crew is 25 people, and we are unloading about 46 tons of materials.
The French vessel will be in the archipelago for 2 days and then set sail again to ride the ocean waves.
And at this moment, we have important information regarding the report of different captures in the department over the weekend to a press conference led by the colonel of the police department in the archipelago. Here are the details from the press conference.
Lisa and viewers, good afternoon. Important information here from the command, the police command in the department. 8 persons were captured by the institution. All information with Colonel Maria Elena Gomez.
Coordinating these captures, we must highlight the following. An individual that was captured on Saturday, February 28 corresponds to alias Caranton, a person who was paying time and had a house arrest. 51 grams of narcotics were seized in the pedestrian zone, a synthetic drug that is brought from the interior of the country. In the same way, we have to highlight the capture of 2 delinquents who were captured last week for homicide. The capture of the first one is alias Wookie, which takes place in the sector of San Luis, exactly in the area known as Rancho. This delinquent was being followed by intelligence personnel. He already had a warrant for injuries he had caused to Mr. Leard Pumir.
And this is everything from the police command. Our central broadcast will complete this information, which was Sylvette Mitchell Archibald for Teleislas News.
Thank you, Sylvette. And last Saturday in the south of the island was Elefir trying to draw attention of the government to reactivate the space of Picninicana through the exhibition of agriculture, island cuisine, and entrepreneurship of Rizal people.
Picninicana became a space for cultural exhibitions and island enterprises. The inhabitants of the south of San Andres hope to reactivate this space that needs repairs to be able to recreate the children as they used to do years ago. This is what one of them said.
One of the main purposes is to try to motivate and to remind the different institutions, both nationally and locally, of this construction here, this project. This project was started in 2014, and we have been trying to convince the local government and others to finish the project for us, for our youth, for our community. We have not been able to convince anybody so far. So we are trying to insist that this project is important for us.
Some of the entrepreneurs who visited the fair spoke to Teleislas News.
The purpose of this day here for me is to promote your own garden. The idea is to bring some of my plants, spinach, peppers, aloe, and curcumin, and I also have seeds for you to buy in a very cheap price.
We got, it will be like a flea market for San Andres people with local things. I have a brand, I don't know if I can say it in the end of the roots, and I have like basically aromatic plants, ornamental things, flowering plants and all them things. So I can come enjoy the space a little bit, the music, the vibe, and keep up the little cultural thing, you know.
And now let's go to know other facts that are making news today in our section of Brief News.
The National Army, Police, Pro Archipelago Foundation and Rotary Club carried out a cleaning and beautification day with the objective of creating recreational spaces for the community of the Guinea Bay sector, recovering venues such as the playground of the sector, which is located near the pedestrian zone, tourist attraction of the island. The National Army continues in the arduous work of cleaning and removal of debris after the demolition of the houses that were totally affected by the passage of Hurricane Iota, in order to continue with the reconstruction of the island. Likewise, the Risk Management Unit began the process of suction of water waste in the septic tanks that are in the houses of the island to prevent diseases. In the area or sector known traditionally on the island as Around the Rock, the Protection and Special Services Squadron of the police recovered an injured fisher heron, which was transferred to the Don't Buy Adapt Foundation, which provided veterinary medical care, evaluation, and healing, and then returned to its natural area.
1:39 minutes. At this time, we continue to know the weather forecast of the day. The weather forecast for today, February 22nd. In the coastal area of the archipelago, the sky is mainly sunny. Temperature is 29 degrees Celsius with wind from the northeast direction with intensities of 26 kilometers per hour. Humidity forecast is 67% and a precipitation of 4%.